It's time now for the Thursday, January 23rd, 2020 edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by the First Bank, along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant. A memorial service for Robert Hooten, 91 of Muleshoe, was held earlier in the week on Tuesday, January the 21st, at the First United Methodist Church in Muleshoe, with the Reverend Monty Lavelle and Tom Carter officiating. Burial was in the Muleshoe Memorial Park. Robert died on Saturday, January the 18th, in Muleshoe at the Parkview Nursing Care Center. He was born Robert Isaac Hooten, July the 12th, 1928, in Bremerton, Washington, to George and Cleo Hooten. The family returned to Quitman, Arkansas, where he grew up. Robert attended Arkansas State Teachers College in Conway, Arkansas, graduating with a degree in math and physical education. He returned home to Quitman to teach and coach basketball until he joined the United States Army, serving in the Korean War. Corporal Hooten served as a munitions instructor stationed at Fort Bliss Army Base. He met the love of his life, Maureen Wilterdine, during this time of service. They married after a 3-month courtship on November the 22nd, 1951, in a service here in Muleshoe. This union was blessed with children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. In 1954, the couple moved to Muleshoe to farm with Maureen's parents, Mervyn and May Wilterdine. Robert later began working at Muleshoe Motor Company, eventually becoming the sole owner and becoming the Ford man. Robert was active in the First United Methodist Church, community and professional organizations, locally and statewide, serving in many leadership roles. Upon retirement, he enjoyed many rounds of golf locally and in senior tournaments. He shared his love for woodworking by building furniture for family and tables and chairs for many children in the community. Robert was a man of honor who loved life and was dedicated to his family and his faith. He had a witty sense of humor, always enjoying a good joke or prank. Robert was named the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce Man of the Year in 1992. Muleshoe Motor was named the Chamber Business of the Year twice. In Rotary, he was extremely active, being named the Paul Harris Fellow, and many other things. Robert is survived by his wife of 68 years, Maureen, 2 sons, Gary Hooten and his wife Holly of Muleshoe, Larry and his wife Wanda of Dallas, his daughter Gayla Gear and her husband Joe of Muleshoe. He's survived by a sister, Juanita Barefoot of Mesa, Arizona, 8 grandchildren, Daniel and Heather Boyd of Salina, Texas, Charles and Amy Turner of Lubbock, Kate and Kayla Hooten of Texaco, James and Twyla Polasic of Ropesville, Tyrell and Courtney Gear of Salina, and Anik Magermans of Luxembourg. 14 great-grandchildren survive him, Kenna, Dane, and Cameron Boyd, Abby, Anson, and Audrey Turner, Hallie and Hayden Hooten, Michaela, Lane, Cody, and Cole Polasic, Brooks Gear, and Gwinnella Magermans, and numerous nieces and nephews. The family would like to thank the employees of Parkview Nursing Care Center for the loving care Robert received while in their unit. In lieu of flowers, please consider a donation to Parkview. Send it to 1100 West Avenue J, Muleshoe, Texas 79347, or the Onita Wagner Senior Citizen Center, P.O. Box 292, Muleshoe, Texas 79347, or the charity of your choice. Online condolences can be made at www.ellisfuneralhomes.com. When we shared the obituary on our Facebook page, Gil Lamb, lots of outpouring of love and memories, including some of these comments. Bernie Mart says, prayers for the Hooten family. Dave did a lot of work for Robert, building him loading chutes and bunk lines for his cattle. Julie Gilliland Hatfield said, such a sweet man, praying for the family. Joseph Carpenter remembers that Robert sold me my first car. Prayers and sympathies for the family. Ruth Hall says, prayers for this sweet family. Robert was a wonderful man. Ricky Relsback says, prayers for the family. He gave me my first job at the Ford dealership. Great man. Eugene Reeder, my condolences to the Hooten family. I worked at the dealership in high school. G. David Smith says, a life well lived. He was a good man. Prayers and comfort for the family. Sherry Stovall Hunter says, prayers lifted for the Hooten family. He was a very kind man. And that's just a sampling of the many comments left on our Facebook page, Gil Lamb. Now we'll take you to the memorial service that was held this past Tuesday at the First United Methodist Church, where Robert's son, Gary, eulogized his father.
Good morning. We want to thank every one of you for all the sincere expressions of love and prayers and your hugs, and especially for all the food. Thank you very, very much. Mother said last night that we had enough food to feed Cox's Army. I don't know how big Cox's Army is, but it's pretty big, I guess, because we got lots of food. We'd like to also thank the Parkview Nursing Care employees for the excellent care they took Daddy the last 9 months. They showed him dignity and grace and lots of love, and we're so thankful for them. Robert Isaac Hooten was born July the 12th, 1928. And he passed from this life January the 18th, 2020, at the age of 91 years. Robert was born in Birmingham, Washington, to George and Cleo Hooten. One day I asked Daddy why were they even in Washington. He said it was the beginning of the Depression, and Papa George was going to help some kinfolks in construction business up there. Well, that didn't last very long, and they were up there just a few months before they returned back to Quitman, Arkansas, where he grew up and became a man. They farmed in Arkansas using mules. Later in life, he said he never wanted to see a mule again. It's kind of funny that he should end up in mule shoes. Daddy was preceded in death by his parents, George Milton Hooten, Cleo Hooten McNabb. He has two sisters, Geneva Davis and Nina Ruth Dobbins, and one grandson, Davis James Gear. Robert attended Arkansas State Teachers College in Conway, Arkansas. He graduated with a degree of math and physical education. He returned home to Quitman to teach math and coach basketball until he became a member of the United States Army, and he served during the Korean War. Corporal Hooten served as a munitions instructor stationed at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. Well, while on a weekend break, Daddy went to Las Cruces to visit an aunt and uncle. They attended church, and Daddy asked, "Who is that pretty lady sitting over there?" His aunt said, "Well, why do you want to know?" And Daddy said, "Well, you need to invite her to lunch because I'm going to marry her." They dated 3 months, and after a 3-month courtship, Robert and Maureen Wilterdine married November the 22nd, 1951 in Muleshoe, Texas, out in the YL community. This union was blessed with children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Faithfulness and love. And these words will make sense in a little bit. Robert went to work for an insurance company in Oklahoma City. He was asked to falsify an insurance claim, and when he told his boss that he would not sign this paper, Daddy was told he'd probably get fired. Daddy said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just going to quit." Integrity. In 1954, they moved to Muleshoe to farm with Maureen's parents, May and Mervyn Wilterdine. And he later began working at Muleshoe Motor Company, eventually becoming the sole owner, and became known as the Ford Man. Daddy was active in the First United Methodist Church, in his community, and in professional and organizations locally and statewide, serving in many leadership roles. He was president of the Muleshoe Little League Baseball during the time that Roger Miller Park was built. He was president of the local Lions Club more than once, president of the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce. He was president of the Texas Ford Dealers Association, and he served on many other local, state, and national Ford committees and boards. He was a respected businessman. Upon retirement, Robert enjoyed many rounds of golf, locally and in senior tournaments. He had many lifelong friends that he played golf with. Daddy also loved woodworking. He shared his love for woodworking by building furniture for our family members. There's a rocking chair down here that is one of those that he built. The numbers have just gone beyond, we hadn't kept track of how many things he's built. He built tables and chairs for all of the grandchildren and for lots of grandkids in the community. Many times these tables, chairs, rocking horses, rockers were donated to the Bailey County Livestock Show to be auctioned off, raising from $500 to $800 yearly giving. He was very giving. He was a man of honor who loved his wife and his family. Daddy was dedicated to his family and to his faith. He had a witty sense of humor, always enjoying a good joke and prank. And if I told you all that he's told me and I witnessed, we'd be here forever. He loved to play cards, including the game of hearts. And giving the Queen of Spades to any one of us just made him just really laugh. He'd get so tickled, his shoulders would start shaking, and he'd just kind of jump up and down, and he'd have a hard time sitting in his chair before he quit laughing. Well, Daddy was an Arkansas Razorback. He lived in Texas more than he ever lived in Arkansas, but he was an Arkansas Razorback. Holly and I are Texas Aggies. Joe and Gayla are Texas Tech Red Raiders. Larry and Wanda are Texas Tech and Texas Longhorn alumni. And we had lots of fun back during the old Southwest Conference days. And most of the time, there was a little bit of money involved just to keep it interesting, according to him. Fun. I've mentioned several words in telling you about Daddy. Service, faithfulness, love, integrity, respected businessman, giving, fun, and entertaining, and always loving. All of words that describe Robert Isaac Hooten. Robert is survived by his wife of 68 years, Maureen Wilterdine Hooten of Muleshoe, 3 children, Gary and Holly of Muleshoe, Gayla and Joe Gear of Muleshoe, Larry and Wanda Hooten of Dallas. Grandchildren and great-grandchildren are Daniel and Heather Boyd, Kenna, Dane, and Cameron of Salina, Charles and Amy Turner, Abby, Anson, and Audrey of Lubbock, Cade and Kyla Hooten, Hallie and Hayden of Texaco, James and Twyla Polasic, Michaela, Lane, Cody, and Cole of Ropesville, Tyrell and Courtney Gear, and Brooks of Salina, Anik Madriman, and Gwinnell of Luxembourg, and a sister, Juanita Barefoot of Mesa, Arizona. Numerous nieces, nephews, and friends. If you would, please bow with me. Father, we're so thankful for this day, and we're thankful that we can remember Robert, Daddy, Pawpaw. We're so thankful of the influence he had on each one of us and the influence that he'll have in the future. We pray that you'll continue to watch over us, help us through this time, and we're so thankful for your grace and your love that you have for us. In Christ's name, amen.
Well, we got a full obit for Gregory Moten since our last Muletrain news, so we thought we would share that with you. Greg died on Thursday, January the 9th, 2020 in Lubbock. He was born in Muleshoe, Texas on July the 20th, 1968. Greg was preceded in death by his wife, Shelley Moten, his parents, Frank and Opal Moten, a sister, Deborah Richardson, and brother, Michael Richardson. Greg is survived by his sisters, Barbara Lee and her husband, Charles Lee, of Hart, Texas, and Geraldine Richardson of Sacramento, California. Also, his brothers, Jimmy Richardson of Lubbock, Larry Richardson and his wife, Geraldine Richardson of Muleshoe, and Mark Moten of Arlington. Greg was born again on July 20th, 1968 here in Muleshoe, Texas, attended and graduated from Muleshoe High School in 1986. Then he went on to attend the college at the Technical Automotive School in Houston and worked as an automotive mechanic for Pioneer Lincoln Mercury for several years in Lubbock. Greg enjoyed dancing, listening to music, playing pool, and helping others along with watching Texas Tech football. He especially enjoyed hanging out with his special and loving friends who were there through the thick and thin. A special thanks to Kayla, Janie, and Roger. God bless you. We had the memorial service. They changed it after we did our Muletrain last week, but they held it this past Saturday, January the 18th, that at 1 o'clock that afternoon at the Muleshoe at the Bailey County Senior Citizens, and there was a large gathering to remember Greg Moten. Again, please keep the Moten family on your prayer list today. We'll be back with more Muletrain news in just a few moments, so please stay tuned. This edition of the Muletrain is brought to you today by the First Bank, along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant. Take control of your First Bank of Muleshoe debit card right from your smartphone with the My Mobile Money app. It's customizable card monitoring and controls that help you manage your accounts. With My Mobile Money app, you can set interactive controls to help monitor activity and prevent unauthorized use. You can turn your card on or off, set alerts, and deny transactions based on merchant or transaction type and location, monitor and control dependent cardholder usage, receive notifications of possible fraudulent transactions, and take action. Deposit checks through your phone. Download the My Mobile Money app now at the App Store or Google Play. For more information, you can also call the First Bank here in Muleshoe, 806-272-4515, or go by 202 South First Street. The First Bank right here in Muleshoe, offering the My Mobile Money app. Available at the App Store or Google Play. Call the First Bank here in Muleshoe, 806-272-4515, or go by 202 South First Street. The First Bank, member FDIC.
Leal's is the best Mexican food I've ever eaten in my life, and I've been alive for 10 years now. Hi, I'm Isla Reynolds, and I enjoy the phenomenal bean burritos, rice and beans and chips, and seasoning salt. I've been around and eaten lots of Mexican food in 10 years, and Leal's is the best for sure, with the original being located at 1010 West American Boulevard in Muleshoe, Texas since 1957.
Have a happy and prosperous 2020 from Tattered Tumbleweed, 1405 West American Boulevard in Muleshoe, and get in now for some great savings to kick off your new year right. Like take 50% off all home decor pieces, along with 50% off all Christmas items. Take 25% off all area women's shoes. They have a huge selection to choose from and some great styles. Kick off your new year right. Great deals at Tattered Tumbleweed, 1405 West American Boulevard in Muleshoe, Texas, 806-272-MULE. They're open Tuesday through Fridays, 10 a.m. till 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Well, this Friday, January 24th, is the big 2020 Bailey County Junior Livestock Show that will be held at the Bailey County Coliseum. It will begin at 8:30 that morning, with the show order like this. Rabbits will be first at 8:30, pigs, sheep, goats, beef cattle, and then dairy cattle. Then on Saturday, January the 25th at noon, they will have their annual premium sale for the livestock show there at the Coliseum. So come out and support our local youth. Of course, we'll be there to film the grand champion and reserve champions of each of the shows and the showmanship award winners in each class, along with the winner of the Jimmy Dale Black Showmanship Award. You can see our highlight video available on Saturday, January the 25th at MuleshoeTV.com, both of our Gil Lamb pages, Gil Lamb and Channel 6 Muleshoe, our Twitter feed, our YouTube channel, and then on all three of our TVs at the Senior Center, the Community Room at the Harmon Elliott Senior Citizens, and the West Sunroom at Parkview Nursing Care Center. Our broadcast will be brought to you by Dell Oil Company, Hereford Feed Ingredients, McCormick Seeds, Bammert Seed Company, Farmers Insurance, Julie DeBruin, Randall Field CPA, WTG Fuels, Muleshoe Feed Barn, Muleshoe Livestock Auction, The First Bank, Wilson Drilling, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Animal Clinic, CHS, Leal's Tortilla Factory, Precure Electric, Shipman's Body Shop, Mohawk Auto Parts, AIM Bank, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Irrigation Pumps and Power, Bywise Home and Auto, Burton Service Center, McDonald's Restaurant, and 5 Area Telephone, West Plains Telecommunications. Again, the Bailey County Livestock Show is this Friday, January 24th, beginning at 8:30 in the morning at the Bailey County Coliseum. And then look for our highlight video tomorrow, the next day on Saturday, January 25th, muleshoetv.com. Everyone is invited to come out, as the Board of Directors of the Muleshoe Area Hospital District will have a special session at 6 p.m. this evening, Thursday, January 23rd, at the City of Muleshoe Training Facility right there on Main Street, 303 South Main Street. The town hall meeting will include a presentation, discussion, and deliberation, and receiving public comments regarding the potential bond and tax rate limit increase election to fund the cost of hospital system improvements. And then they will consider and act upon an order calling a maximum tax rate and bond election to be held by the Muleshoe Area Hospital District, making provision for the conduct of the election and resolving other matters incident and related to such election, and adjourn. So come and hear about this proposed bond. This evening, Thursday, January 23rd at 6 p.m., the Muleshoe Area Hospital District Board of Directors will meet in a special section at the City of Muleshoe Training Facility, 303 South Main Street, and come out and hear the presentation, and you can also give your public comment to the board. We'll be there to film it, so look for that broadcast at muleshoetv.com later in the next several days. We'll have both that up along with the highlights of the Bailey County Junior Livestock Show over the next several days. A big congratulations goes out to Garrett Riley. As we were recording our Muletrain last week, we didn't get it in because it broke Wednesday after we finalized the Muletrain, but he was named the new offensive coordinator last week for the SMU football team. So congratulations to Garrett Riley. Garrett is the son of Mike and Marilyn Riley, who recently moved from Muleshoe to Lubbock, and of course his older brother is Lincoln, who is the head coach at OU. His granddad, Claude, is a resident of the Parkview Nursing Care Center, and Claude graduated from Muleshoe High School in 1940. Claude, Mike, his son, Lincoln, and Garrett, his grandsons, all played quarterback for Muleshoe High School. Garrett was named the 2007 Built Ford Tough Texas High School Football Player of the Year while playing quarterback at MHS under head coach David Wood. He was also named the State of Texas 2A Offensive Player of the Year as well. Garrett finished his high school career at Muleshoe with 5,312 passing yards, 71 touchdowns, and just 15 interceptions in 720 attempts. He graduated from Muleshoe High School in 2008, where he then went on to play quarterback at Texas Tech under Mike Leach, and while his brother was on the staff at Tech. Then, with Leach's departure, he transferred to Stephen F. Austin in 2010 and helped the Lumberjacks to a Southland Conference title and a number 1 FCS rank in both passing and total offense. Garrett earned a bachelor's degree in general business from Texas Tech in 2012. He really earned his way up through the coaching ranks, starting his first job at Roosevelt High School as the quarterbacks coach, where he helped them set 4 school quarterback and 5 receiving records in 2011. If you remember back in those years, 2 former Muleshoe assistants had moved on to Roosevelt, and head coach Pointer and Ted Johnson. His first collegiate coaching position was in 2012 as a running backs coach at Augustana College in Illinois. He then joined the staff at East Carolina University for 3 seasons, working alongside his brother Lincoln, who was the offensive coordinator. In 2016, he joined the staff at Kansas in Lawrence, and then took a job at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina, where earlier in January 2020 he was promoted to be the offensive coordinator before taking the same position with Southern Methodist University under head coach Sonny Dykes, which was announced on Wednesday, January the 15th last week. Of course, Sonny is the son of legendary Tech head coach Spike Dykes and spent lots of time on Mike Leach's staff at Texas Tech. Garrett's wife is Lindsay, and they have 2 children, Gibson, 3, and Grayson, age 1. And we know that Mike and Marilyn are thrilled having all of their grandchildren so much closer to home in both Norman and now in Dallas, Texas. And congratulations to Garrett Riley, as last week he was named the offensive coordinator for the football team at SMU. So it'll be fun watching the SMU Ponies and cheering them on for Garrett this coming season. Well, last Friday night, the Lady Mules had a very exciting win on the road at Canadian to extend their winning streak to 4 games. As we mentioned, the Lady Mules dropped their first 3 games in district action, then turned it all around. In the first game of district play at the MHS Gymnasium right before Christmas, the Lady Mules lost a heartbreaker to the Canadian Lady Cats, 42-40, but they returned the favor last Friday night on the road at Canadian, winning 42-40. So congratulations to the Lady Mules on a great win. Then again with another great win this past Tuesday night here at the MHS Gym, as the Lady Mules defeated Tulia 53-19 to extend their win streak to 5 games. They are now 5-3 in District 1 3A action, and that puts them right in the middle of the playoff hunt. The Mules with another tough loss in their last 2 games, as they fell last Friday at Canadian 81-29, and then Tuesday to Tulia 85-47 to bring their district record to 0-6. The JV and varsity basketball teams will be in action next at home this Friday, January 24th, against Bushland, with both boys and girls JV in action at 5 p.m. Then varsity teams at the MHS Gym, as the Lady Mules will play at 6:15 p.m. And then at 7:30 p.m., the Mules will take on the Falcons. Next Tuesday, January 28th, all 4 teams will be playing at Friona, so good luck to the Mules and Lady Mules, JV and varsity, on their upcoming games. And that is great for the Lady Mules, as they are now 5-3 in district action and on a 5-game win streak after dropping their first 3. Well, it's time now for the weather forecast, brought to you today by K&K Pharmacy. First, a message from our sponsor. K&K Pharmacy right here in Muleshoe at 1411 West American Boulevard, where Christine K. or any of their helpful employees want to help you get rid of your weekly pill box. Find out how K&K Pharmacy can simplify your meds with the K-Pack Custom Medication Packaging Program, available now at 1411 West American Boulevard. Call them 806-272-7511. K-Pack Custom Medication Packaging, available now at K&K Pharmacy, where they can simplify your meds and get rid of your weekly pill box. The next session of K&K Pharmacy's series, Living Well with Diabetes, will be this next week on Wednesday, January the 29th, at the Bailey County Senior Center, 319 Main Street, at 11 a.m., and they invite everyone to come out. That's Living Well with Diabetes, January the 29th, Wednesday next week, at 11 a.m. at the Senior Center, 319 Main Street, or that's Main and Avenue D. Now, looking at our weather forecast, first, we might want to give you some rain totals. As Tuesday night here at Channel 6 at the National Weather Service station in our backyard, we got 14/100ths of an inch of rain. The Muleshoe Mesonet station, 2 miles south of town, got 13/100ths of an inch of rain. The same at the Earth Mesonet station, 13/100ths of an inch of rain. That station is just in a field right next to Toke Plant. The Olton Mesonet got 11/100ths, and Morton got 7/100ths. So for January, we're doing pretty well, as so far at the National Weather Service station here at Channel 6, we have 1/2 inch of rain on January. Of course, these winter months are always extremely lean, so that's pretty good for January, 1/2 inch here at Channel 6. The Muleshoe Mesonet has 39/100ths of an inch of rain, and the Earth Mesonet station next to Toke Plant has 26/100ths of an inch of rain for January so far. Now, looking at the forecast for the Muleshoe area, it will be sunny with a high near 53 degrees today for Thursday. North-northeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, then mostly clear tonight, low around 25. Calm winds becoming southwest after around 5 p.m. after midnight. Sunny on Friday, high near 59 degrees. Southwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then partly cloudy Friday night, low around 30. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly sunny on Saturday, high near 60 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming north in the afternoon. Saturday night, mostly clear, low around 27. North winds around 5 miles per hour, becoming west after midnight. Sunday, sunny, high near 64 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear, low around 33. Monday, sunny, high near 67 degrees. Monday night, mostly clear, low around 33. Tuesday, a slight chance of showers, mostly sunny, high near 54. Tuesday night, mostly clear, low around 30 degrees. And repeating our forecast for today, on Thursday, sunny, high near 53 degrees, northeast winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour, mostly clear. Tonight, low around 25, calm winds becoming southwest after midnight. Friday, sunny, high near 59, partly cloudy Friday night, low around 30, 60, beginning our weekend on Saturday, and mostly sunny, mostly clear Saturday night, low around 27, then sunny and high near 64 on Sunday. Sunday night, mostly clear, low around 33. K&K Pharmacy has presented to you this edition of the weather forecast. If you remember, Muleshoe does have a connection with Ken Jennings, who last week became the greatest of all-time champion on the Jeopardy program, as he won that Tournament of Champions last week, taking home the trophy and $1 million with the Alex Trebek hosted program, game show Jeopardy. And of course, we've talked about this in the past. We had a great interview with Ken's grandmother, Georgia, that we did back in the mid of the first decade of the 2000s. But during that era, we were using the mini DV format, and I searched high and low for our archived interview with Ken's grandmother, and those mini DVs just did not last the test of time, and we did not have that in our archives anymore, and we hate that because we were going to show it to you. But real quickly, Betty Jennings, whose hometown is here in Muleshoe, shared this on her Facebook page, so we might want to quickly refresh you how Ken has connections with Muleshoe. Betty writes, the Big Jeopardy tournament ended with Ken Jennings being the big winner and taking home the trophy and $1 million. If you watched it, I'm sure you are as amazed as I am at his retention of facts and speed in recalling them. For those of you in Muleshoe too young to remember and who may not know, I want to give you an update on Ken's grandparents and their connection with Muleshoe. His great-grandfather was G.O. Jennings and owned and operated Jennings Grocery Store during the 1930s and 40s here in Muleshoe. Betty married James, G.O.'s son. Jim had an older sister, Evelyn, an older brother, Kenneth. The three children are all graduates of Muleshoe High School. Kenneth was the best man at Jim and Betty's wedding in 1947. Soon afterward, he and Georgia Lee, who was the grandmother that we interviewed, his wife moved to Washington State. Their son, Kenneth Jr., an attorney, is the father of Jeopardy champion Ken III. Betty's posting this because only the old-timers like her will remember G.O. and his grocery store, Jennings Grocery, and they may or may not know that Ken's grandfather is a Muleshoe High School graduate and may not be aware of his Muleshoe connection for Ken III, Jeopardy champion, greatest of all time, with that connection with Muleshoe. So we thought we would share that with you. Again, Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy greatest of all time champion. His great-grandparents owned a grocery store called Jennings Grocery here in Muleshoe in the 30s and 40s, and his grandfather, Kenneth, graduated from Muleshoe High School. We'll be back with more Muletrain news in just a few moments after these messages. Since 1925, AIM Bank is proud to be one of the largest locally owned and operated banks in West Texas. Our expert bankers have an in-depth understanding of the local economy, and we are proud to provide our customers with quick local loan decisions. At AIM Bank, we know that strong local partnerships are crucial for growth and success. Investing in you has been our focus from day one. We provide the latest in technology for your online and mobile banking with features like mobile check deposit. At AIM Bank, we care about your accounts as much as you do, so we pride ourselves on real personal attention because we are also your neighbor. We invite you to come in and experience the real personal attention AIM Bank has to offer. We want to know you because we live, work, and raise our families right here in Muleshoe too. AIM Bank is committed to making a difference in the communities we serve. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Help us welcome to Muleshoe Dr. Kenneth Burke. Kenneth Burke, DO, is now practicing full-time in the medical clinic of Muleshoe and is ready to see patients. For an appointment, call today, 806-272-7544. Dr. Burke was born in De Leon, Texas, and went through Corpus Christi and Lubbock on his path to Muleshoe for his undergraduate training. And then in the U.S. Navy, he was responsible for mobilization and security of the medical and chaplain team. Shawnee, Georgia for medical school, and then Jersey City, New Jersey for his medical internship and family practice residency. Welcome to Muleshoe, Dr. Burke. He's purchased a home here and ready to make Muleshoe home again. For an appointment, call the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe, 806-272-7544. Help us welcome Kenneth Burke, DO, to Muleshoe. Remember that Frying Cox 401 South 1st Street in Muleshoe can service all of your glass and plexiglass needs, as they can special cut them for you in the back of the store. They also can custom thread and cut iron plumbing pipes at Frying Cox as well. They have in stock a large selection of PVC in a huge variety of sizes, along with conduit, EMT, and PVC, CPVC for hot water lines, sewer and drain piping, all available. Schedule 40 PVC and iron pipe in stock in black and galvanized style is all available at Frying Cox 401 South 1st Street. Great deals going on now to start a new year, like the 8-pack of AA or AAA Energizer batteries, now marked down to $5.97. The Irwin 6-inch fast-release locking pliers are marked down to $9.97. Both sales go through the end of January. At Frying Cox 401 South 1st Street, Muleshoe, Texas. They're open Monday through Saturdays, 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. Well, pictured on your TV screen on the Muletrain today, as well as our front page of our website, muleshoetv.com, is Joshua Cox from Lasbuddy High School and Cesar Reyes from Muleshoe High School, as both of them will get to spend a week in Washington, D.C. this summer on a trip that seasoned tourists would envy, thanks to the Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association through the Government in Action Youth Tour, an annual program sponsored by electric cooperatives nationwide. Cox and Reyes will join more than 150 fellow Texans for this trip of a lifetime, June the 17th through the 26th this coming summer. Joshua Cox is a senior at Lasbuddy High School and the son of Valerie and Brandon Cox. Cesar Reyes is a senior at Muleshoe High School and the son of Carmen and Yoel Reyes. They both won the interview contest sponsored by the Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association and were selected from a pool of 8 applicants for this adventure. The program evolved from an idea of then Senator Lyndon B. Johnson to advocate of rural electrification and youth supporter, who inspired cooperatives to send area students to the U.S. Capitol and see their American heritage and government at work. Since 1965, electric cooperatives in Texas have participated in the nationwide program coordinated by the Texas Electric Cooperatives, the statewide association. More than 3,800 Texas students have gone on the trip since its inception. The event kicks off in Austin, where students will tour the state capitol and its visitor center and the Bullock, Texas State History Museum. Next, the students will fly to Washington, D.C. to begin a whirlwind tour of the nation's capital, visiting the Arlington National Cemetery, Mount Vernon, the Smithsonian Institution, memorials, and more. Activities include learning about rural electrification, seeing a performance at the Kennedy Center, going to on a Potomac riverboat cruise with dinner and dancing, and meeting elected officials. And congratulations to Joshua Cox from Lasbuddy High School and Cesar Reyes from Muleshoe High School, both seniors, as they will spend June 17th through 26th through this this summer in the Government in Action Youth Tour, sponsored by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association. The Bailey County Senior Citizens is having a fundraiser, and if you've got stuff they want it, have items at your home, office, or barn you'd love to get rid of, are your closets, garages, or shelves overflowing, the Bailey County Senior Center will be having a huge indoor garage sale as a fundraiser. The date and time is to be determined, but it will be in the near future. Because the Senior Center is a nonprofit organization, they can give a donor receipt of items you donate for tax purposes. Call the Senior Center at 806-272-4969 from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. to arrange a drop-off or pickup. After hours, you can call Royce Turner at 946-8663 or Carolyn Johnson at 315-0730. They're interested in all items, large or small, so help out the Senior Center with its garage sale by donating items to it. Pictured on your TV screen today is a donation recently that on Tuesday K&K Pharmacy presented to the Muleshoe Meals on Wheels program. Receiving it for the Meals on Wheels program is in charge the director of the program, Judy Kaufman, who is also the director of the Bailey County Office of the Aging. They gave her $2,953 that they raised mainly from their Angel Tree program, which was held in December of 2019, and then K&K Pharmacy matched part of the donation as well. From K&K Pharmacy pictured are Crystal Alicon, pharmacist, Jenna Kirkland, their new marketing person, Sonia Alicon, Tim Hernandez, Miranda Thorne, and Alondra Villarreal from K&K Pharmacy. So about $3,000 donated to the Muleshoe Meals on Wheels program from a matching donation and their Angel Tree donation that their customers gave during December of 2019 from K&K Pharmacy. So make sure and see that pictured on your TV screen. And thank you so much to K&K Pharmacy and all of their customers. A Muleshoe High School all-school reunion is being planned. The first committee meeting will be at the Bailey County Senior Center, Main and Avenue D, Saturday, February the 1st at 10:30 that morning. All are welcome that want to be a part of the planning of the Muleshoe High School all-school reunion. Again, a committee meeting. The first one will be Saturday, February 1st at 10:30 a.m. at the Bailey County Senior Center, 319 South Main Street. Make sure to go by Wise Home and Auto, as the bridal shower selections for Colt Ellis and Leslie Allen are now available at 106 East American Boulevard. The shower is scheduled for February the 29th, and they have a wonderful shower selection there for them at Wise. Colt and Leslie plan on marrying in May, so good luck to them. The Bailey County Senior Center sponsor of the week is Dave Sudduth Family. And riding for the Senior Center is the director, Carolyn Johnson. Our sponsor for the week is one that leads by example. He is one who is usually the first to jump in and help. He is honest, a hard worker, and respectful of others. His style, manner, sense of self, and ambition has made him the man he is today. They're proud to announce that our 13th sponsor of the week for the Bailey County Senior Citizen Center is the Dave Sudduth family. David grew up in and graduated from high school in Crosbyton, Texas. He married a hometown girl, Clara, in 1957. They were married for 60 years until her death in 2018. David and Clara raised 3 children, Carrie, Richard, and Joni. Carrie lives in Muleshoe with his wife, Susan Puckett. He is a teacher at Muleshoe High School. Richard lives in McKinney with his wife, Michelle Bryant. Their daughter, Joni, was also a CPA and worked for a firm in the Austin area. She was diagnosed with cancer in 2007. David and Clara went to her and lived with her for several years, giving her love and aid during her illness. She passed away in 2011. David is blessed with 4 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. David graduated from Texas Tech University. He worked his way through college by working at a cotton gin in the fall and attending college in the spring and summer. After graduating, David took a position with a CPA firm in El Paso. But David and Clara wanted to live and raise their children in a small town. A position opened with a national firm called Williams and Merriman at CPA in Muleshoe. David got the job, and Muleshoe was the small town they were looking for. The firm changed names several times, but David worked there until he became self-employed. He worked as a self-employed CPA here in Muleshoe for 35 years. David comes across as a man who has had clarity of direction his entire life. He always gave his ultimate best, and he knew that when it comes to work, one must always protect the business entity. David relied on a substructure of business principles like respect, honesty, communication, and trust in his own ability. As a result, he has become a most successful businessman. In spite of all his hard work and long business hours, David also found time to be a community leader. His participation in community involvement is most impressive. In the past, David served as director and treasurer of the Muleshoe JCs. He was also coach and treasurer in the Muleshoe Little League. David is and has always been very active in the Muleshoe Church of Christ. In the past 25 years, he has served as deacon and treasurer. He has served as president and director of the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce. He also served as president, secretary, and director of the Muleshoe Lions Club, and as president and director of the Muleshoe Library. But David didn't stop at community involvement. Within his professional realm, he was a member of the American Institute of CPAs, a member of the Texas Society of CPAs, and a member of the Lubbock chapter of CPAs. David never regretted the move he and Clara made from El Paso to Muleshoe. He told me Muleshoe is a great town made up of friendly, neighborly people. It is a wonderful place to live. He comes from a very musical family. He and two of his brothers were given that talent. One of his brothers is in the Western Swing Fiddlers Hall of Fame, and the other was director of the Going Band from Raiderland. David is very talented at playing the guitar. He volunteers to entertain at our center quite often. And on the subject of the Senior Center, David is an active member. When asked why he joined the center, David answered, "It is such a great asset to the Muleshoe area, and it provides a good service to our seniors." He had the honor of speaking to a very close friend of David's Carolyn had the honor of speaking to a very close friend of David's, Marilyn Wilson Nichols. She told me that not only were they neighbors for 50 years, but they also went to the same church. The first thing she said to me was that when she thought about David Sudduth, she thought about how honest he was. According to Marilyn, he didn't even exaggerate. She went on to tell me that their children were close to the same age, and she recalled fun card games and lots of football on their dead-end street. David and Clara were absolutely the sweetest couple you would ever know, she added. I think David Sudduth is someone who is what a lot of people aren't. He plays in the larger game of life, which in the end shows us the true meaning of a man. It gives us great pleasure at the center to call him our sponsor of the week, the David Sudduth family. St. Anne's Catholic Church in Bovina will hold their annual German sausage dinner Sunday, January 26, 11:30 a.m. until 2 at the St. Anne's Parish Hall, 3rd Street in Bovina. Of course, it's always wonderful homemade German sausage meal. Donations are $12 for adults and $6 for children 6 and under. That's this coming Sunday, January 26, 11:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. The St. Anne's Catholic Church in Bovina annual German sausage dinner at their St. Anne's Parish Hall, 3rd Street in Bovina. Melissa Haywood has for sale an ice box. It's a Kenwood brand, a Whirlpool gas stove, a bedroom set in good condition, dresser, and 2 nightstands. Call Teresa at 575-760-0473 or go by 214 West 20th Street. That's for sale an ice box, Whirlpool gas stove, bedroom set, a dresser, and 2 nightstands. Call Teresa 575-760-0473 or go by 214 West 20th Street here in Muleshoe. On your prayer list today, please keep those first responders that died working a wreck weekend before last, including the family of Nicholas Reyna and the family of Eric Hill, and continue to remember the injured firefighter who remains in the hospital at UMC, Matt Dawson. Please keep these family members and Eric Dawson on your prayer list today. Continue to remember Jeff Kaufman on your prayer list today, Ray Precure, Becky Hawksbergen, Judy Lambert, who's recently been moved from Crown Point. Remember Stanley and Patricia Wilson, Ronnie Dent, Jimmy Shirey, who's a patient at Covenant, In Lubbock, Eddie and Gail Morris needs to remain on your prayer list today. Karen Chambers of Brownfield, the mother of Chance Holsom Muleshoe, needs to be on your prayer list today. Judy Hubbard, the wife of Gary Hubbard, former longtime Earth UMC pastor. They are now retired and live in Monday, but please keep Judy Hubbard on your prayer list today. Patty Kent, Matthew Alicon needs to be on your prayer list today. Pat Nichols and Linda Goff, Marshall and Ann Head, Susan Kirby, Sally Ellis, who's at Parkview, Leonardo Aviles, Kearney Scoggin, Buck and Lynn Campbell, Wint Campbell in Olton. Remember Maureen Hooten on your prayer list today, Mary Nell Bleeker, Debbie Trotter, Marjorie Morgan, the mother of Pam Thomason. Remember Tom Carter, who's recuperating from knee surgery, Louis Wayne and Wanda Schaefer, Gladys Black. Remember Luke Siegel on your prayer list today. Remember the family of Robert Hooten, along with the family of Greg Moten. That family needs to remain on your prayer list today. Remember the family of Ruth Tucker and the family of Maria Sylvia Dello. Please keep these families grieving the recent loss of a loved one on your prayer list today. Well, it's just about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by the First Bank along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant. You can hear our latest along with all of our archive Muletrain News programs free of charge on demand on our website, muleshoetv.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of the page.
I'm Tumbleweed Smith. Homemade fried pies in Stamford. Details in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
The Sound of Texas is brought to you here on MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, with offices in Muleshoe at 610 East American Boulevard, as well as in Morton at 1744 State Highway 114. They're celebrating rural electrification right here in the Muleshoe area through Bailey County Electric since 1939. They are owned by the members that they serve. Call 806-272-4504. Check them out online at bcecoop.com. The board of directors, the members, the employees, the manager, CEO David Markle, all hope you enjoy this Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
3 years ago, Charlotte Herman of Stamford spent some time working on her fried pie recipe. Her husband, Bernie, sampled a pie and said, "These are good enough to sell."
I just put them on Facebook. We sold about 300 just off Facebook during the 4 days of the rodeo. And we've been making them at home. We had a little trailer out back with a fryer in it, and she'd roll them all by hand.
Last year, they moved into an old warehouse building and now have 7 people turning out pies with different flavors.
Apple, cherry, peach, apricot, buttermilk chest, strawberry, blueberry, lemon, chocolate, coconut, and pineapple.
Sometimes they make 800 pies a day and deliver them to nearby cities: Aspermont, Albany, Abilene, and Haskell.
The only equipment we have is a roller to roll our rounds out. Everything else is done by hand. They're filled by hand, they're flopped over, they're crimped, everything's by hand.
They sell a lot of pies during Stamford's summer rodeo.
I built a tray on the back of my golf cart, and I have little racks I put in it. And I would drive down to the chutes, drive back and forth. And last year I sold, 800 pies, I guess, out of the golf cart, just driving around at the rodeo ground.
They also have a larger trailer so they can cook pies on site. The pies are large, 9 inches by 4 inches. They make other things beside pies.
She makes chocolate cake to die for, peanut butter cookies, chocolate chip cookies. During the winter, we do casserole, frozen casseroles.
We do chicken salad every day, all day.
Homemade tortillas on Friday.
Their place is also a laundry drop-off.
The driver shows up every day at 9 a.m., Monday through Thursday. He picks it up. They get their laundry back the next day. I got to thinking about it. I thought, well, it's just going to be a good draw. It's going to be a good draw for the pies. They're going to come in, they're going to drop their clothes, or they're going to pick them up, and they're going to get pies. And that's pretty much what happened. So, but now you've got close to 300 in an index box of laundry. And my saying's always been, I would not be where I am today had it not been for the dirty laundry.
Charlotte and Bernie Herman of Stamford. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.